Hey everybody, it's Corbett Barr from Think Traffic, and I'm sitting down today with Dinesh. And if you don't mind, Dinesh, if you could just tell me your last name, how to pronounce it.
Sure, it's Thirupavanam.
Thirupavanam, okay.
So 12 letters, but it's vowel consonant,
All right, awesome. Dinesh from Udemy, and Dinesh, you are the Chief Marketing Officer here?
Yeah, the VP of Marketing.
VP of Marketing, all right. And we wanted to sit down today because Udemy has a pretty interesting story in terms of growth. And also the platform that you've built, the learning platform, I think is going to be really interesting to Think Traffic readers because it enables individual publishers and teachers to earn revenue online without having to build out the full infrastructure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So before we jump into that, if you wouldn't mind, how did Udemy get started? What's the story, the history?
Sure. So Udemy's origins actually take place almost 4 or 5 years ago back in Turkey. Two of our co-founders are Turkish engineers. And they were starting the very beginnings of Udemy back then, actually working on a platform for live learning, using a live lesson tool. But they kind of quickly realized that this was just a very big idea, the type of idea that needed to be launched in Silicon Valley and needed a good amount of money and backing behind it. They came over here. They started working at a company called SpeedDate and grew that company up into the tens of millions of users. And they synced up with another co-founder. Yeah, so really smart guys.
They have the magic touch.
They got something good in them.
Cool.
And yeah, synced up with our other co-founder over here, and then launched the company in early 2010.
So online learning is hot right now. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw, that Code Academy just raised $10 million earlier this week.
Yeah,
there are a lot of different platforms out there. How is Udemy different from some of the other competitors out there specifically? What's your unique sauce?
Totally. So we think of Udemy as a place where experts come to teach the world. And we have a pretty amazing crew of experts teaching on the platform today. It's anyone from New York Times bestselling authors like Eric Ries to celebrity yoga instructors who have their own TV shows like Sadie Nardini to just amazing developers and coders and teachers like Zed Shaw. And really what we try to do is we try to really put the power in the hands of those instructors and just enable them to teach as many people as they can. And if they're interested in this also as a financial opportunity to really make a life out of the teaching that they do. And so what that means for us and how we view the platform is, we try to put as much ownership and control into the instructor's hands as possible. So, as one example, we have a lot of instructors on the platform who are authors or who are some type of previous content creator. And, they're used to book deals where they say they get like 10% of the revenue that actually comes off the book deal, right? Or where the publisher's actually coming to them and saying, okay, hey, this is exactly what I want you to go out there and teach. And we kind of take a radically different approach. We say, okay, look, you're the expert. You know what you're really passionate about teaching. You know what you're best at teaching. So you decide the topic of the course that you want to teach. We're not trying to own your content at all, right? I mean, we really believe in that power of the content creator, and there's no exclusivity here. Content creators should own all of their content. And if you're publishing a paid course, you should keep the vast majority of the upside in terms of the revenue that that course is making. And that's how all of our relationships are set up with our instructors. And I think we really kind of believe in that model as opposed to a lot of the other online learning platforms that I think take more of a publisher-oriented model, where they're really trying to produce the content themselves. We kind of see, the experts are the experts for a reason. So, we should kind of put the ownership in their hands.
Interesting. Yeah, for example, Treehouse is one that I've been paying attention to quite a bit recently, and they do all the content in-house, and you guys decided to take the opposite approach. What sort of cut, if you don't mind sharing, do you keep versus the content creator keep?
Yeah, totally. So the cut is, if you're charging for your course, you keep 70% of all the revenue from the sales of your course, and Udemy takes a 30% cut. And actually, if you're promoting the course yourself, then you actually keep 85%.
And what does that mean?
So, basically, if you're out there tweeting about your course or sharing it on your Facebook page, right, you can use an affiliate link that tracks those sales.
I see.
So that you get even more of that purchase.
I see. Okay, interesting.
So yeah, we really, if you're really kind of putting that muscle behind your course, we want you to be able to keep as much of it as you can.
So, I guess if you're a content creator like I am, and I've created my own courses in the past, the question that I would have, and people listening to this might have, is, why would I go with Udemy as opposed to just putting this out myself, building a WordPress site and putting it up?
Yeah, so I think there are kind of two big pieces to it. There's kind of the product side, and then there's also the marketing side. So on the product side, I think there are really a range of different types of content creators, right? There's someone like yourself who's probably, extremely technical savvy, right? Can throw up a WordPress blog like this, is recording this entire interview. I think, that's fantastic, and, folks who have that skills can do that, and that's really great. But I think there are a lot of folks out there who are just amazing teachers and amazing content creators, and they say, I don't want to have to integrate with PayPal and accept payments. I don't want to have to handle all of the technical support associated with offering an online course. I'd love to be able to create coupon codes for my course and make it available. And so, some of kind of the baseline technical aspects I think they really like. I think they also really like a lot of the community-driven features of Udemy, right? I mean, we've really built, I think, a best-in-class product for an online course-taking experience from a student standpoint. And we're actually going to be doing a big release of the product in the next few weeks, which is going to be really exciting. So, I think folks really love that we kind of have a question and answer feature built into the site where they can really engage heavily with their students, and they can kind of have one community where all those students are interacting. I think, a lot of stuff sort of on the product or the technology side there. And then the other element is the marketing side. So, Udemy gets over 500,000 visitors every month to the site. We have over 250,000 registered students. And we have, we've really tried to bring students who are really interested in learning, right? And who, who are really interested in taking online courses and, potentially purchasing courses. And we try to really foster that community. And so, I think folks say, okay, I can put up a course over on Udemy, and they take care of a lot of the technical issues for me. They have an amazing course-taking experience for my students, and then I also, get access to a potential big marketing lift from the actual, base of users that are on Udemy.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. So, I mean, 30% might be enough, for me to basically forego the technical stuff. I say that's totally worth it to me, paying Udemy that commission basically. But I imagine that you guys bring users to me as a content creator through the platform. Do you have any idea, how many of the users that an average course gets come from the content creator versus from the Udemy platform?
Yeah, so it really varies dramatically by the type of instructor and the type of course on Udemy. So as an example, we've had instructors who have done their own email promotions and have done $15,000, $20,000 in a single day promoting their course, right? And we've had instructors do Facebook posts on their pages where they've done $5,000 in a day. Sadie Nardini is an example there. Amir Kella, amazing user experience instructor, is an example for email. But what we see on average is about 20% of the sales on the platform, and in some months a good deal more than that, are actually coming from instructor-driven promotions. So there's a good amount that instructors are really doing, just being excited about Udemy and sharing the platform, and then there's quite a good amount of marketing lift that happens from just having your course on Udemy and all the relationships that we have set up with various partners and the advertising that we do and so on and so forth.
You also released some figures recently, which were sort of exciting, about your top 10 instructors and how much they earned last year. Can you share that again?
Yeah, we're really excited about those folks. So our top 10 instructors last year earned over $1.6 million.
Wow.
The top instructor did over $500,000, and almost all of them were over $100,000 in course sales.
What sort of topics were those courses on?
So almost all of those topics were in either the business or technology space.
Okay.
So a good amount of folks teaching programming courses, teaching entrepreneurship courses, teaching design or web design courses. And really that was quite purposeful for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last year we made, kind of a focused decision on Udemy that we really wanted to bring on a lot of amazing instructors and amazing content in the business and technology verticals. And we feel like we've done that. We've had some of our instructors be amazingly successful. Someone like Chris Converse, who's taught on Lynda, who's, written multiple books, says that Udemy is the most profitable thing that he's ever done.
Wow.
And so, we feel pretty fantastic about it, and we're now at a point where we're starting to move into a lot of new spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is a space that we're extremely excited about. We're bringing on a bunch of just fantastic, celebrity yoga instructors and just, really amazing yogis. Photography is a space that we're really excited about.
Mm-hmm.
We're really kind of at that point where we're starting to branch into quite a few new spaces.
As a content producer, though, as an instructor, could I upload a course on anything, literally any sort of topic, or are there limitations on that right now?
Yeah, so you can create a course on literally anything. If you're publishing a paid course on Udemy, then there is kind of a premium instructor application process, and we want to make sure that you're really an expert in your space and really knowledgeable about what you're doing, and very genuine in your efforts to teach and going to create a high quality course. But whatever you're passionate about, you can teach it on Udemy.
Cool. So there's sort of two parts of this conversation that I wanted to get into, and thank you so much for sharing the experience for the instructors, because I think there are a lot of people out there who might be interested in participating or at least trying it out. Are there content exclusivity rules? If I upload my course there, could it have been somewhere else, or could I upload the same course somewhere else?
So no exclusivity on our end.
Okay.
Right? So again, coming back to, we really want the ownership and the control to be in the hands of the instructors. If you've used your content somewhere else and that other agreement has an exclusivity clause, then obviously you have to deal with that. But on our side, there's none of it.
Okay, cool. So the other side that I wanted to ask you about is just how you've achieved such magnificent growth for Udemy. You mentioned that you had 500,000 people on the site every month or so. How old is the actual platform itself? You kind of mentioned the origins, but when did Udemy, as a platform launch originally?
Yeah, so really we launched the paid platform for Udemy in about December of 2010.
Okay.
I like to think of 2011 as the year where we were kind of really proving out what startups often call product market fit, right? And whether we really had a product that people loved and were really excited about, and courses that folks got excited about and wanted to purchase. And then, 2012, as I mentioned, we're wanting to expand into a lot of new verticals, and this is now where, we really want to scale this thing up. We've seen some awesome success with it. We shared some of this in the release where we talked about the 1.6 million that our top 10 earning instructors had made. Back in May of 2011, our user base was quite small even then. It was probably 20 or 30,000 folks back then. And we're now over 250,000 registered users on the site, and like I said, 500,000 visitors. And so, from a marketing standpoint, I think there were two kind of big things that we did and continue to do extremely well as a team, which were big factors in our ability to just bring more students onto Udemy and be successful for our instructors, whether that's just enabling them to teach a lot of folks or earn a living teaching. So the first one was about building really smart partnerships. So we went out there and we found blog owners, we found folks who had really large email lists, we found daily deal sites like an Amazon or a Living Social, and we synced up with them. We set up affiliate agreements with them where they could be earning 50% of a course's sales if they were promoting it. Okay. And we worked closely with them to figure out what types of courses were the types of courses that really got their audience excited. Okay. Tested a really a pretty wide range of different content with them, and we found that to just be incredibly successful. You're syncing up with the right partner, and when they're talking about your content to their audience, it's just imbuing so much trust onto the content.
Yeah. How do you? I think a lot of people understand that those partnerships are important, but how do you sort of broach that subject without being friends, for example, with the blog owner to begin with? How do you reach out and get them interested in what you're doing enough to tell their audience about it?
Yeah, totally. So couple just simple things, I think. One is having people in network and having friendships obviously helps, right? So, I think that's a great...
Warm introductions.
Exactly, warm introductions, and, just scouting out on LinkedIn, are you connected to folks, or, posting to your Facebook wall, hey, I'm looking to get in touch with people at such and such. And I think that's just a great way to get some early wins. As one example, some of the earliest promotions we ran were with Startup Digest. Okay. Our 3 co-founders were living with one of those Startup Digest co-founders at the time, right? And they were living in a social network style house in Palo Alto with a pool in the backyard and probably a zip line maybe.
All right.
So things like that help to get a couple of early wins under the belt. Once you have the early wins, I think quite honestly, if you're just writing a very sharp and simple, concise cold email, is very effective to folks, and you just kind of lay out the opportunity. And usually what we do, we have something that's just kind of 3 or 4 lines, maybe one line with a link to some press about Udemy, so folks kind of understand that we're reputable and trustworthy and can get to know the platform. Yep. Another line about some of the success we've had with a promotion or 2 that we've already run before, right? So, even just thinking back to some of our earlier emails, I remember lines, talking about how we had done over $50,000 in sales in a single day with one of our partners. Yep. And we were able to do that.
Just whatever is the most attention-grabbing thing you can put in.
Exactly. What's the big win that you've gotten to date that you can just put in there that really gets them excited?
Establish credibility, get someone's attention, but still keeping it small because people are so busy.
Exactly. Yeah. Keeping it so it's kind of that 1 line, 2 line, and then just a 3rd line that's just kind of asking a simple question. Is this something you're interested in? And I really like ending cold emails with a question like that, because it creates a very clear call to action, right? Can I just respond to this super easily and say, hey, no, I'm not interested? Which from my standpoint is fantastic. I want to know who's not interested. Yeah. Or just, okay, yeah, I'm interested, tell me a little bit more, or let's hop on the phone for 5 minutes.
So beyond partnerships, and I stress the importance of relationships all the time, beyond that, are you guys focused heavily on SEO or social media or any other sort of tactics that are...
So the other thing that we do extremely well as a team is Facebook advertising. Generally we have a marketing team that's just very analytical and very smart when it comes to user acquisition. But specifically when it comes to Facebook advertising, users, when they join Udemy, share certain interests with us, right? And they share that quite literally when they type in interests on our platform, but they'll also do that by just checking out various courses, course landing pages, and these kinds of things. Okay. And what we've been able to do is develop some really smart targeting criteria around specific sets of courses we have. So maybe a set of courses around becoming an entrepreneur, or a set of courses around becoming a web developer, and start to get a feel for what are the good targeting criteria that we can use on Facebook that kind of identify that demographic or that profile of a user. Right? So as an example, with someone like an entrepreneur, we've been able to get a feel for, okay, and this is also by even doing user interviews, which I highly, highly recommend. Doing conversations with your early customers, we learned so much doing this. And you get a feel for where these folks live, right?
Yeah.
And so, almost every entrepreneur out there is reading TechCrunch at least once a week, and is usually a fan of Tim Ferriss or Gary Vaynerchuk, and is probably reading a big VC blog like Brad Feld's blog, right. Or something like On Startups.
Yeah.
And we were kind of able to pull that information together and enter it in as targeting criteria on Facebook. And then two of our co-founders are Turkish engineers, as I mentioned, and they've been able to bring over an amazing engineering team, and being able to then track those specific users that we're bringing on board and understand what the conversion rates are like for those users. How likely are they to go on to enroll in a course or to buy a course, and then as we look at those numbers, we can kind of double down on certain target groups.
For people that might not have the technical skills to really do all this back-end data mining,
sure.
What are the basics of making a Facebook ad more successful? Like what?
So 3 simple things I would say in terms of, okay, so first I would say the number one most important thing is actually targeting the right people. So, I've just been talking about target groups a lot, so I think that's really key.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've done even if we don't say we're moving into the yoga space, right? And we really don't have a set of yoga users that we can talk to or that we can look at and kind of understand what types of things we're interested in. We'll just put ourselves in the heads of those users, and we'll try to think about a couple things. We'll try to think about what publications do they read, right? They read things like Yoga Journal, or maybe Elephant Journal and things like that.
Yeah.
We'll think about what are the celebrities in the space that they probably follow, right? Are there some really big yogis or just big yoga personalities, and you're probably going to like that type of person on Facebook, right? And we'll also think about just what are the big brands that they're into, right?
Yeah.
What are kind of the yoga-related content that they're probably buying? Things like a Lululemon.
Yeah.
And we'll build out target groups along some of those criteria.
And within Facebook, you can a lot of times find those very specific things because they've liked the page for Lululemon or whatever.
Exactly.
Or they may have just typed in a profile that they like yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
Something as simple as that.
Generally, that kind of broad targeting, where it's like just yoga, doesn't work as well.
Doesn't work as well. Okay.
It's really kind of going at a more granular level, like these publications they're reading or celebrities they're following. Then that's kind of a true representation of someone who's just super
really into it. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one really important piece of it, target groups. The second most important piece, I think, and something that takes a little bit of time for folks to realize, is that when you run Facebook ads, and you got to kind of put yourself in the head of the audience and the person actually looking at a Facebook ad. What actually drives 70% of the clicks on the ads is just the image that you use, is the actual creative, right? So, literally what we did in the early days, particularly before we kind of realized what types of images were working well for us, was we would run the exact same ad with 5 to 10 different images, all radically different. And then Facebook's algorithm will figure out, they'll optimize for click rate, because Facebook wants as many clicks as possible. They got to boost their share price back up, right? And so they'll figure out which image is going to get the most clicks, and then they'll send all of your traffic, as much budget as you're allotting to that specific ad. So being smart about testing with multiple different images. And then the second most important thing in the ad is the headline, right? The actual headline you're using. There are other kind of smaller things you use in the descriptions. We often advertise courses at a discount. Folks love to get a deal, right? We try to keep the copy really short, have a call to action at the end, right? Grab this course now, something just kind of simple and straightforward like that gives people a way to act. But it's really, I think it's about the target group. It's about just kind of, being smart and structured about how you're running the ads and doing a lot of different testing. And then, if possible, really kind of measuring, which target groups, which users from various target groups, how they're performing on your site, which takes a little bit more engineering work, but still something you could do even with like a goals in Google Analytics.
Right. So if we could just move back to talking about the instructors, just for people who are watching who might be interested in giving the platform a try.
Sure.
Do you have any tips about how to put together a really attractive course? Something that your audience might be really interested in, Udemy?
Yeah, totally. So a couple different tips. One is just teach something that you're really passionate about, because it really comes through in the course. You know, you watch certain videos on Udemy, and you watch kind of the promo video we have on the landing page, and you just feel the passion behind the instructor. We have a professor who teaches Greek religion on the course, and you just want to kind of like grab hold of him and go inside with him, right? I mean, he's just amazing.
Cool.
So that's probably the number one thing, I think. Number two is build out a structured curriculum and outline, and define what your learning objectives are for your students. And I think that helps you just be really smart.
Focused.
Exactly, and it makes the course very actionable for a student. Right? I think one of the best examples of this, we have a course, and this guy, Victor Bastos, who's probably going to go on to do more than like $500,000 this year on the platform. And his course is called Become a Web Developer from Scratch, right? And it's like, if ever there was a learning objective, it's just, boom, that's exactly it. It's in his title. It tells you exactly what it is. And then, he has kind of various chapters which outline, different aspects of web development that you'll want to learn. But so I think being really clear and concise on what the students walk away with and what they've actually learned is really powerful. Generally, the courses that are doing the best on Udemy, I'd say, have between an hour up to, say, 10 hours of content. And they're usually selling for between $19 all the way up to $200. So, just kind of tactically, those are things that we find are working well for folks. I also generally recommend to folks, when they're publishing a course, to just get the word out there to people you're close with, your friends and family.
Your own network,
Yeah, exactly. And to just share the course with them, maybe provide a discount code, or, if it's your mother, you should probably give it away for free. And just ask for an honest review from people. Just kind of say, hey, this is something I've been working on for, the past week or two. And would love for just you to write an honest review. The reviews on the platform, I think people really look to those for insight on just how valuable this course is.
And then that helps you grow your audience within the platform.
Exactly, right? Then you kind of have a base of subscribers. You have 20 or 30 subscribers. You have, hopefully you have 4 or 5 star reviews. And then, that's just helping you get more and more visibility on Udemy, right? Our algorithms are obviously trying to bring to the top the courses.
The best courses.
People love the most. So.
Well, fantastic. Thanks so much. Congratulations on all the growth. And I look forward to seeing this launch that you have coming up in a few weeks to find out what that's
going to be an exciting one. It's I've seen some screenshots. It looks beautiful, and the engagement happening within the course is going to be great.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks.